the business side of social media, because there are two types, two activities on social media. There's the business side of social media and there's the fun side of social media. Now it means that two types of people go to social media. There are those who go there to make money, and there are those who go there because they are commodities of, they go there to have fun and relate with people. But in essence, Facebook and other social media platforms see them as just commodity. Which means if you've been on Facebook for like 2 or 3 years and you have not made any income from that, it means that you are just part of the commodity on social media. Because you are there, Facebook is making some money. Because why Facebook make money is that they can come to Bakins and say, see, Bakins, just in Oniru area, we have about 2 million people that we can position your product to. Bakin will say, okay, Facebook will pay you 50,000 every month so that you can place our pharmacy. While people are scrolling through their pages, they can see. Now, if you understand how social media works, it's designed in such a way that the system has been designed such that it studies what you are interested in. Which is why if you go through the advert you see on your page, it will be different from its own. So what they do is that when they study you, normally it's actually tied to your eye movement. Okay, so the number of the areas your eyes go to and where your eyes stay longer on, social media, the system captures it and say, okay, this person is interested in this kind of thing. Which means if you are scrolling and your eyes stays more on fashion, you notice that with time you are seeing more of fashion adverts popping up. If your eye stays more on football, you notice that you start to see more of sports related activity popping up. Now, these are some of the things that you need to understand so that when you are leveraging social media, you know the areas that you can leverage on how to make money from social media as an organization. So what I want to show you guys today is how Bakin as a company can actually make money from social media. Now, the first thing, before anybody goes on social media and is going there to make money and not be a commodity for social media, you have to have one thing very clear. You must have an objective. I'm going there for this reason. I'm going there because I want to drive my business. I'm going there primarily to attract customers, convert these customers, and grow my sales. Then you now design a plan. Anybody who goes on social media and think he's just posting things that customer will come, it doesn't work that way. You must design a clear plan. You can say, okay, we want to target people who are in Oniru area. So you come up with a plan, because social media, especially when I also talk about pages, is designed in such a way that if you go to your back office on your page, it will tell you the kind of people who are visiting your page. Which means you need to have a plan that ensures that what you are posting gets to people around Oniru and Aja, Victoria Island. Because it makes no sense that you are posting videos and posting pictures of products, and the only people who are watching are people in Kano. So you need to have a very clear plan on how you go about it. The second thing is that a mistake a lot of people make is that they tend to go on all platforms. And it's not all platforms that works for all kinds of businesses. So you need to look at all the various social media platforms and say, which one will attract the most traffic to us? Do we want to do Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn? Or do we want to do YouTube? So it's important for you to look at and say, okay, these are the channels that we want to start with. For the topic of today, I'll be talking more about Facebook. And so it's important for you to now say, okay, if we want to start with Facebook, let everybody in this organization study Facebook to understand Facebook. So one is to have a plan. Secondly is to establish these are the channels. You know, there are some, let's say you decide to go to Instagram. Instagram is a bit catchy, but then because of the kind of things that you do, you might not get the kind of traffic that you expect from Instagram. But assuming you go on Facebook, Facebook kind of have a more interaction. LinkedIn is more for professionals. Now, YouTube does more of videos. So it's about sitting down and say, okay, these are the channels that we want to work with. The next thing too also is about you must be consistent. It means that you don't post today. Don't post 10 articles today and you don't post again till the next 2 weeks. People should get used to that and say, okay, that on Becky's page, every day I know that they are posting something, because the more you see a post from a place and the more people visit it, then the more the likelihood that your page will be popping up in front of on their home profile. Then focus. You need to identify your targets and focus on them, because one thing is easy to get distracted by the noise on social media. You wake up today and everybody, so what is the latest fad happening today now? Which one happened? What was the thing that happened on social media? Sorry? Okay, so what's trending now is Big Brother. And everybody's talking about Big Brother. And you leave what you are posting about fertility products and you start to talk about Big Brother. Now, what you are doing is that you are confusing the people who are following you. So you need to establish that CEO, the kind of people that we want to attract are people who can afford, who live within this vicinity, a radius of about 10 kilometers around any of our shop, who can afford products between 10 to 20,000. As in, you need to actually clearly identify your target market, and everything you do focuses on it. Like for instance, for us, we say that our target are one-man-owned business that's not properly structured, based for now within the Southwest majorly and the Southeast. Which means if a multinational like let's say a company like May and Baker comes to us, we will never advertise to get them. But if they come bring business to us, yes, we'll take. But we know that our core kind of customers that we are targeting, that every post that we are doing is the customer that is a Nwanna or Moibo business, who doesn't have the kind of structures that his business needs to grow, or a pharmacy that is trying to expand. It means that all our posts are targeted to attract those kind of people, and also targeted are those who are seeking for jobs. Which means if you visit any of our pages, you will see two kinds of things: posts talking about how you to grow your business, and posts talking about trainings that we do, and posts talking about job opportunities that we have to offer, and posts talking about people that we help to get jobs for, or people that we fired. For those who have been on Facebook for the past 3 or 4 days, my page has been on fire because I posted some very controversial thing about the pharmacy I fired in one of the companies that we work with. Because part of the thing we also help people do is we help them not only to recruit, but when people are messing up, we step in and we fire the people who are not doing well. Now, because I talked about the pharmacist and everybody went haywire. But then we left it that way because we are doing it for a purpose. Controversy drives traffic to your page. But it must be deliberately designed controversy that gets you the kind of attention that you want. Do you understand what I mean? So for instance, you can say you want to talk about muscle boosters, for instance. And you can just post something about why women don't add muscles. Now, once you do a post like that, feminists will start to hit you. But the more they post, you know that the men that you are targeting are actually also reading it. And the more, those are the people who are likely to call you and say, see, this thing, this product I talked about, how do I get it? So you need to define clearly your target market. A lot of people miss it on social media because they are just there just to post, but they don't have any clear plan on who they are targeting. So most importantly, you are there to make sales. Like I said, that we've not made money from the contacts that we got from social media in the past 3 years. Minimum is like 20 million. And we are doing that because for us, we are not there to play. For us, social media are not a place we go to just, we see it as another avenue to make sales. So because there's a tendency that you are just there and before you know it, forms of distraction start to take over. It's very important that you keep your focus on the sales, which means you make posts, after some times it's not giving you the kind of, there's nobody calling you, you gradually change. For those who have been following us, you will notice that we make a kind of post for some time and suddenly it looks as if we've changed. Anytime we change, it means that we are no longer getting the kind of traffic that we used to get. And so it also has to be very clear to you that once I'm doing this thing, I also need to be very clear on the way I want to go about it. As I was here, I just got a call from Turkey, and the guy said he saw one of my posts and he wants to set up an importation company. Now, say that at the end of the day, maybe we can get about 10 or 20 of that in a month. But I can promise you that out of that, about 5 will be turned into a concluded business. Now, even if it's, let's even say, okay, worst case scenario, we charge about, for each of them for the consulting, like 200 or 500,000. If you multiply it by 5, you know what it comes to. Just from social media. So it's important for you to understand that social media is a powerful tool when you go in there to make business out of it. Just like you are playing ball on the street and everybody knows that he's a good footballer. You and somebody who's making football as a career are two different things. Because you know, if you want to turn football as a career, then you need to be more focused, more consistent. Your training has to have a schedule. If you don't do this with social media, you are just a product for others.